We've all played basketball. You know when you shove somebody in the back that the ref's gonna blow the whistle and call the foul? Well, the ref didn't call the foul.
Say a word about a flagrant foul prior to going to break, by the way, after the supposed hard foul.
Previously, when you see they cut off the play early, Angel Reese actually shoves Aliyah Boston in the back to get a rebound.
Aliyah Boston didn't just block shots, she shut down the Chicago Sky's entire paint presence. Her 5 momentum-changing blocks sent a powerful message, but her stepping in during the intense flagrant foul incident with Angel Reese really revealed her leadership. Could this moment define the Fever's season?
Angel Reese acted like she wanted to win an Oscar. I got nothing against any of these women's basketball players.
The ratings, gate revenue, it's not close. She's a media-created rival. ESPN played right into it with that flagrant foul.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Imagine this. Caitlin Clark steps onto the court, the crowd buzzing, cameras flashing, and every headline framing her as the biggest rival to Angel Reese. The two have been compared non-stop, their clashes on and off the court fueling debates among fans and analysts. Tonight, the pressure was tangible, and Clark had everything to prove against the Chicago Sky. Even before the game began, the narrative running wild was whether Clark could rise above the Reese comparisons and lead her team, or whether the expectations would weigh her down. Things heated up fast, and the moment everybody talked about happened in the second quarter.
Wow, it was not a flagrant foul with the intent to hurt somebody. And
Jason Whitlock, other than jealousy, what is Reese's motivation for animosity towards Clark? I said she's jealous AF. She sees the attendance.
Clark drove to the basket, and in a physical scuffle under the rim, Angel Reese made contact, leading to a flagrant foul. Clark hit the floor hard. The crowd went silent before erupting, half in disbelief and half cheering for whoever they supported. The tension in the arena was suffocating. Reese stood over Clark for just a second, no words spoken, but the energy was unmistakable. This wasn't going to be forgotten. But instead of unraveling under the moment, Clark picked herself up, adjusted her ponytail, and let her game do the talking. From there, it was all Caitlin Clark. She put up a triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Her shooting was solid all night, 6 for 13 from the field, and a lethal 4 for 8 from beyond the arc.
they're all super talented. But if we're gonna talk about them, we have to talk about them like we talk about any other sport. Like
with some LeBron James looking flops if I ever saw him. By the way, Caitlin Clark, a triple-double, 20 points.
So Caitlin Clark is sitting there with her hands up like, you're gonna call that? So then, yes, she went and fouled Angel Reese.
Every time the Sky tried to press, she zipped a pass through traffic for an assist. When defenders gave her space, she knocked down a 3. Her defensive game added to her statement, with 4 blocks and 2 steals making sure nobody forgot her presence on that side of the ball. This performance not only silenced the doubters, but also reminded everyone why she's one of the most exciting players in the game right now. The dynamic between Clark and her teammates after the flagrant foul was impossible to miss. Aliyah Boston immediately stepped in to defend Clark, yelling at the referee while Reese walked away. This wasn't just about standing up for a teammate. It was a defining moment of unity for the Fever. They rallied behind Clark, and their chemistry on the court skyrocketed after it. Could this moment have shifted the rivalry between Clark and Reese? And more importantly, did it solidify the bond that could push the Fever to another level? Clark's ability to thrive under pressure and Boston's leadership set the tone, but what Boston did next completely changed the game.
To prevent her from having the easy basket, but Caitlin Clark actually fouled Angel Reese because she was trying to take up for her teammate.
ESPN, your anti-Caitlin Clark agenda on full display. Going on and on about how that needs to be a flake.
You know what's crazier? Aliyah Boston didn't stop at supporting Caitlin Clark during that flagrant foul moment. She turned the game on its head defensively, shutting down not just one player but the entire Chicago Sky offense. 5 blocks, perfectly timed and textbook clean, were just the stats you saw. What they didn't show was the way her presence in the paint completely rattled Chicago's entire rhythm. Anytime the Sky tried to drive to the rim, they either hesitated, got stuffed, or scrambled to adjust. Boston wasn't just holding her ground. She was reading their offense like she had their playbook in her hands. At one point, in the third quarter, Destiny Henderson broke through the first line of defense and drove straight to the basket. A clear layup, right? Wrong.
Angel Reese, boy, she's ate up with class, is she not? Wow. Standard operating procedure foul.
Was that Caitlin Clark was actually reacting to a foul that should have been called on Angel Reese against Aliyah Boston.
Boston rotated over, met her at the peak, and absolutely swatted the ball into the Fever's transition offense. The arena erupted, and you could feel the shift. That block alone sparked a run that pushed the Fever's lead to double digits. Plays like that weren't rare either. Boston kept the Sky guessing for most of the night, forcing them to take low-percentage jumpers and abandon their usual aggressive drives to the hoop. The stats tell part of the story. The Fever's defense forced 13 steals, and they dominated the rebounding battle, especially limiting the Sky to just 26 points in the second half. That's wild considering Chicago's scoring firepower. Boston led the tone defensively, but Natasha Howard and Lexi Hull were also crucial in making it all work. Howard disrupted passing lanes and contested shots everywhere she went, making her presence just as frustrating for Chicago. Then there was Hull, whose hustle alone felt like it added an edge to the team. Her 9 rebounds were not just numbers, they were proof of how far she was willing to go to make sure no possession belonged to the opposition.
And it was the worst nightmare that the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese could have possibly imagined.
That the offensive player has a free lane to the basket. Now, before I get to why Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark fully,
if Boston keeps anchoring the defense like this and her teammates keep backing her up, what's stopping the Fever from becoming title contenders? They showed a level of trust and chemistry that's hard to teach. Boston's leadership became even more evident after the flagrant foul incident earlier in the game. She wasn't just a dominant defender. She was the team's anchor mentally and physically. And when your defense can shut a team like Chicago down, like they did in this game, it's clear they're building something special for the future. The Fever's win wasn't just another game. It was a statement.
Caitlin Clark committed a hard foul on Angel Reese as she was wide open for a free, easy layup. Routine play.
I mean, that was a big nothing. Wow. Especially after everything that Caitlin Clark dealt with last year.
But I do know why they're talking about the aftermath of the foul, which, by the way, was a routine. You gotta make them earn it.
Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston stepped up, showing why their chemistry could reshape the team's future. Clark's triple-double and Boston's defensive dominance aren't just stats. They're proof that the Fever have the foundation of something special. Their ability to shut down the Chicago Sky and rally after tense moments showcased not just talent, but mental toughness as well. So, here's the question. Could this duo be the spark that propels the Fever to championship contention? Only time will tell if they can handle the challenges and rivalries ahead.